Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Thursday Sermons on our Tribulation Soldier COMS YouTube and Facebook. And as you'll see, we're back in the old bike garage here. It's a really nice day out. There's people mulling around. It's usually quite quiet this time of day though, you know. So hopefully none of those things will be a distraction. Today I'm sort of following on from the sermons I've sort of done previously and moving forward with that. And that's really to populate this channel with more sermons and more teachings. There'll be far more in the future, you know. You'll see why in this sermon, you know, why we're just that little bit too busy and stuff, you know. But for now, if you like our sermons and our teachings and all that sort of stuff, guys, you know, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, hit notifications, you know, and we will have some regular videos coming up. Yeah, so it's that time again, and as you'll see, if you've seen previous sermons, I've still got a little bit of electrical tape holding my glasses together. And it just seems to be so busy at the moment, you know, and it's a simple little job, but kind of just so much to do and stuff like that. We've just come back from our holiday at Port Mahomack in the caravan, which is on the NC 500, the north part of Scotland, going up the way, sorry, this way around, Inverness maybe, and up the way. So we're about there now. We have to go all the way around the top and back down again. So that was a 10-day holiday, and man, it was raining most of the time and whatnot, but we kind of made the best of it. And also, of course, with this, we're still building our Birnie Family channels. You know, David and Emily, my children, have got their own Birnie Family Fun shorty shorts, and a gaming channel that they're building, and they're doing so well at that. It's really, really good. And as you'll see here, you know, the Birnie Family, this is one of my motorbikes that we do motorbike vlogs with, and of course we do all sorts of other stuff as well, you know, fishing, kayak, and all sorts of different things. So yes, it's really quite busy, you know. And one of the big things is, again, it's for YouTube, for Emily first, of course, is getting Emily her first horse. And we acquired a bit of land, which is great, just right beside a friend's house, and it's on the edge of town. It's absolutely perfect, you know. And we've been doing that ever since. I've been building a stable from scratch, a big double stable, and the thing kind of morphed on towards, you know, this caravan. We took the whole shell of the caravan off and made a big flatbed trailer, you know, for the hay bales. And then all of a sudden, when we were on the NC 500, we got this opportunity of buying a horsebox lorry, a 7.5 ton horse lorry. And, you know, these are the type of things I do look to God for. You know, I say, well, you know, okay, we're spending here, you know, I need a little bit of advice, you know. And it all worked out great. Me and Sharon have had the same cars for like about 6 or 7 years. You know, we could have upgraded this year, and we thought, nah, you know, we'll go for the lorry instead. And it was only £3,000, which was really good, you know. And at that point, you know, I was really looking at God saying, look, okay, this is another huge project, you know, to be adding to what we've already got. You know, I really need you to make all this happen for us, you know, with a lorry. I don't need this sort of worry in the back of my mind, you know, is this engine going to blow, or, you know. So we got the horse lorry, and she's 24 years old, probably almost 25 years old now, in fact. But she's only got 100,000 miles on the clock, just under, which isn't big for a commercial diesel engine really at all. And the guy that had it before us, it was a retired army mechanic, so he was always on it. And I'll tell you guys, when we bought it, there isn't a hole in the chassis at all. You know, I had some welding to do, but not in the chassis. The engine's been really well looked after. You can sort of see that. It's very smooth and everything, you know. So it was really good, you know. It was one of those, you know, thanks Lord, you know, I wouldn't have done it without a little bit of encouragement, you know. So yeah, it's been another job, you know, and it kind of looks like you really shouldn't be taking on another job at this stage, you know, because we're just so busy with other stuff. But hey, just go with it, you know. And then we've been getting it ready for its annual inspection, and I'm sure you guys in the States have the same thing, some sort of an annual inspection of your vehicle, and obviously it's got to pass. It doesn't go on the road. That's it, you know. So at the time, me and David had a great time. You know, think about it, you know, if you've got lovely cars that work fine all the time, when is David and Emily ever going to learn how to do bits on cars and engines and things like that? You know, this is such a great opportunity. Me and David changed the exhaust ourselves. We changed the cam gaskets up on top of the engine there. And of course, I did a bit of welding. There was other little bits and pieces to do throughout, you know. But we took it down for its annual inspection just the other day, and it passed. I was like, oh, yes, you know. I was actually really tired though. because it'd been quite a week, and I'm leading to something here. This is a sermon, don't worry, just a bit of a testimony. But it'd been quite a week before that, you know, and generally, you know, like buying that lorry, things just worked out, all this happened, and all of a sudden you've got this lorry sitting on your horse field, you know, and there's no stress, really, no hassle, it just worked and feels great, you know. But on the run up to the MOT, we did everything we were asked to do, and it failed. So we finished off the other bits as well, you know. And on the last few days, things just started going a little bit wrong, you know. The pump, the mechanism, the hydraulic mechanism that tilts the carb up so you get into the engine, it started leaking. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And of course I'm tired, I'm a bit grumpy and all the rest of it. I've got to get it in for its annual inspection. It'll cost way more. You know, it needs to pass this time. And I thought, great, we've got it all done. It's the day before, we've got half a day to go. We're dropping it off nice and early. They can get it in nice and early if there's a cancellation or whatever, you know. And just as we left the field, right, I was way up to do a turn up at the corner just so we could come in the main road, and the left-hand indicator broke. I couldn't believe it. On the way to the MOT station. And this, some rare occasions when I look to God and I go, you have got to be kidding me, Lord. I mean, really, on the way there, this couldn't have happened a day earlier or a day later. It's right on the button. So drove the lorry back to the field. I actually dropped David off. I was a bit hacked off. I should really show those things on camera, actually. You know, it's just, you know, rolling feature. But I was pretty hacked off, so had to pull the dashboard apart, and I got the indicator out, and there was 2 broken wires, and I soldered them, and away back we went. I made it to the MOT station at 1 minute to 5. I'm not kidding you. Absolutely unbelievable. And of course then I'm thinking, well, it's probably not going to pass. Knowing our luck just now, you know, it's not going to pass. But it did, you know, it passed the following day, and that was absolutely great, you know. So as a Christian, you know, you don't ask the Lord what colour of trousers to put on in the morning and stuff like that, but on major decisions, you really ask him for your guidance and help, because it just works, you know, and it always does just work, you know. And getting the lorry was amazing. I love driving it. It's actually pretty big, and we can do some real long distance stuff. I can get the bikes in the back, and we can go up to the Highlands and do some vlogs and stuff like that. So it's really good. But you know, at that time when the indicator went, I know God well enough to know that I'm saying, Lord, you could have let this happen tomorrow. I mean, why today? Of all days, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, my brain doesn't work anyway because I've got a brain injury, and I'm still sort of working through that, you know. You know, and I'm driving back to the field and thinking, man, oh man, if I can't fix this, if it's a major problem, I'll never get this part in time, because it's a classic lorry. I'll never get it in time. It'd be a miracle. But God was there, just, Lord, give us a hand, please. Got the wires all soldered up, put it all back together again, and took it down, and now it's passed, you know. So yeah, you know, like I said, you know, that's not the Christian life. You know, you don't wake up every morning and ask the Lord what to eat and what to wear and all those sort of things. You know, that's not what it's all about, you know. But what it is all about is God being a part of your life, and seeing that God actually does care about things that just, in a lot of ways, mean nothing on this earth, really. You know, a couple of broken wires and an indicator. And of course, normally I'd have a little bit more character than that. You know, I should be quite a mature Christian with some patience and everything. But, you know, when you're pushed and you're tired and you're frustrated and you just want to stop, you know, you lose that character a bit, you know. And well, I certainly do. And patience, you know. But God allows these things. You know, there's no question about it. He could have made that break a week ago, or, you know, the following week or something like that. But it's a little thing that he does. It's just little things that he does in life, you know. Obviously, first off, I was really frustrated, you know. It just seems to be that I am at times, you know, like that. But God had to show us, remind me, even though I'm all these years down the line, that when things go wrong, even at the last minutes, he can come through for us. And I find it tedious at the time, of course I did, but guys, you know, when you look back and you just see it for what it was, and you think, wow, thank you, Lord. You know, just thank you, Lord, that was awesome, you know. And there's so many other things you've got to take from a little experience like that. God's grace is activated in situations like that, where I'm needing him to prosper me, to show me favour, but yet I'm sinning. I'm gonna really being impatient, showing very little character for the age I am and the experience I have as a Christian. I do not deserve to have him come through for me, but he still does. And that example you take into your wider life like that. When we sin as Christians, when we sin as people, God's grace is activated. And God's grace is his divine, unmerited favour upon those who just don't deserve it. I don't deserve that grace, but he gives it anyway. I can actually be angry and frustrated and all that, and God is nothing but good to me. There's times you get chastised, of course, he's a father. He'll do that. But more often than not, you feel that goodness and you look at it and think, why do you even bother with me sometimes, Lord? You know? Why do you bother with me? But that's what he's got to show. And the other thing as well, remember, and this is a little footnote, I've got 2 children that are growing up, that are really following the Lord, that are really sort of seeing God for themselves and all that. I've went through a few situations like that in life. Just those minor ones. I'm not talking major surgeries and all that stuff, just those type of things. But I'd seen it many times before, but David hadn't. This wasn't for me, this is for David. God was going to show David that he'd come through for us at the last minutes. And here we are standing, dropping the vehicle off, looking at the clock and saying it's 1 minute to 5. 1 minute to 5 p.m. We've got the lorry here. My kids need to see those things. But on the subject of what we're on just now, guys, God's activation of grace, even that. You look at me, I'm 20 odd years down the line. I've been a pastor since about 2009, probably more full-time as a pastor since then. And there I am, just the other day, driving to take the lorry, and that frustrating thing happens. And again, God still reminds me and shows me that my relationship and my salvation with him has absolutely nothing to do with my lack of character or my sin or the things that I get wrong. Again. Every time. All the time. There's a word that describes God in the scriptures, and it's called there's no variableness in him at all. There's variableness in me. My character's okay, best part of the time I can take on tough situations, but there's times like that which really push the edge. I'm tired, I'm frustrated, my brain's not working, and I just don't need it. But there he is to show that grace yet again, because I'm forgiven, guys. I'm already forgiven for what I've done and what I've said. And it all comes back to that glorious mystery of the cross of Jesus Christ and him taking my sin yesterday, today and tomorrow. Let's take my sin yesterday, getting frustrated at God. I don't mean disrespectfully, I revere and I fear God, but I'm still going to question him. I know that's the relationship you have, and it's not a relationship. You've got to be honest and you've got to be open about the way that you feel. Still good. And there's times in the past, that I have been really, really bad. I'm way back, when God's sorting things out in your life, and he just daily, continually keeps being good and keeps showing you grace. And you're saying, Lord, why are you showing me grace? Why have you been so good to me? Stop being so good to me. Chastise me or something. Just that love and that grace and that peace and that forgiveness. And all of that stuff comes through a broken indicator stock on a 24-year-old lorry. All that just floods out and comes. Oh, the Christian life's exciting. The Christian life's got stuff that happens. It is not a book, it is not church. Going to a local assembly. It's about having that daily relationship with God. And you find over the years, it's confirmed to you time and time again, even where I am just now, that he has been so good to us, even when we're in absolute ratbags. So there we are, a little one this morning, a bit more of a testimony-based sermon, but I just thought it was, it was really good for this type of thing, because we are doing all this building and doing these bits and pieces, and I look to God a lot, and there's times that you just have to get your head down and go on with it. There's no real confusion with a lot of these things. Things take work to do. The stable's not going to build itself, the YouTube videos aren't going to get filmed themselves. You've got to labour, but it's really up to God to make things happen for you. But those are the type of things that give me the motivation to share and to share and to share, to try and convince, just to try and convince that there is this great God, and that great God isn't asking for your servitude and your obedience and submission. There's parts of that, of course, there's no problem about it. It's rescuing us from ourselves and this world and taking us into this real life in it. Real life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Loads more to come as always. I do feel like I've maybe taken on a little bit more than I should have just lately, but I'll push on and get through it all. And again, guys, I just hope that if you've got kids, that you might drop in on Emily and David's channels and check them out and see what they're up to. Those channels are really cool. We've been building them for quite a while. And of course with our sermons and our teachings and whatnot, if you hit the subscribe button and hit notifications every time we share one of these, it'll be up there. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.